Hi, this is Michael doing my analysis of our arcade problem, which is Stark versus Ford Motor Company. And in my opinion, this case is at the heart of any business, speaks to the heart of any business law case. The, the, the aspect of product liability and the duty of care that needs to be exhibited by all parties. In this case, a 5-year-old girl, Mrs. Stark, received an injury from a seatbelt that was not positioned properly, and this injury that was received when her father crashed into into a pole that was in a parking lot, caused a severe spinal cord injury that rendered the minor obviously in a lot of pain and changed her quality of life. The case hinged on whether or not a faulty seatbelt was to blame, and a little knowledge about seatbelts. Seatbelts have this feature that allows, that gives them the ability to lock in place and that's what gives us the protection. But in this incident, this particular seatbelt that was in the car that was driven by Mr. Stark failed to have this mechanism. The Starks claim that if not for the faulty seatbelt, this severe spinal injury suffered by the minor defendant in this case would have not occurred. Ford Motor Company, which we all know is a big conglomerate, counteracted this argument by stating that because of the seatbelt's improper placement on the minor child, that was the reason why the injury occurred, not for the faulty mechanism in this seatbelt that I stated earlier. And this deciding this case, a North a North Carolina statute was cited, which states in fact that if a manufacturer will not be found liable if the misuse of a product plays any part of the injury. The trial court ruled that because of the placement of the seatbelt, this contributed adversely to the advent of the injury, and thus the Starks were not entitled to any damages. In fact, you might say the reason why the Starks were found culpable in this was their negligence in not ensuring that their daughter was properly fastened correctly in the car seat. Let me go back for a minute. The Ford Motor Company also provided evidence of warnings that they provided that specify that children under the age of under a certain age must be in a wheelchair. Sorry about that. Must be in a booster seat. Which the minor child was not. So that was another negligence factor on the part of the parents of the young girl. So, in conclusion, the trial court ruled that Ford Motor Company was not liable for the injuries, and the trial court remanded it back to the law. Remanded it back for more testimony. The case was later appealed, and the North Carolina State Supreme Court found in favor of the Starks, finding in fact that there was evidence of a knowing by the Ford Motor Company of the faultiness of the seatbelt, and thus the appeal court found in favor of Stark and the Guardian ad litem that was responsible for the interest of the minor defendant. So in conclusion, this case speaks to the heart of what two crucial aspects of business. One, negligence. Negligence, which is the mistakeful exercise of a wrongful act that results in harm to another person. And secondly, the principle of product liability, which is crucial to manufacturers because it holds them to a much higher standard and it allows them to be found responsible if any injuries arise from the use of the product. Thank you and good night.